All praises to the Most High, acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, whom some call Sophia, and our brother Yahawashi. Mishpachah, there's been a serious uptick of heathens. Instead of cleaving, they are trying to usurp our covenants. Now, the scriptures makes it clear over and over again that the covenants are only for the children of Israel, Yasharahla. But yet we have Psalms 83 on this very same platform telling us that we are trying to make it about race, as in color. It's not about color. See, when they see race or they think of that term, they think about it the way they've been taught from a Eurocentric, from an Eurocentric standpoint. It's about bloodline. Now, I came across this book a few years ago because we know the Ruach HaKodesh, the earthly mother, is bringing all things back to remembrance. It's titled, God Made a Racial Choice, a study on the exclusivity of God's covenant with his people. This is why they go to Paul and they rest with his epistles. Because even Paul is letting them know those Gentiles being spoken of were the people of the diaspora. Now, this book goes into full detail. It goes to the New Testament, so called, and it lines it up with the Old Testament precepts. This is why in these Christian churches, they never really go into the Old Testament. Because when the Old Testament was being written, it was only about Yasharahla. In the New Testament, before it was written, what did they do? They quoted and recited the law and the prophets because that's what they knew, not Christian dogma. So people think they can put on a head wrap and some fringes and call on whatever name they believe is their God. It automatically makes them part of the covenants. Now, we do get on the camps hard, but one thing I can say, they are correct. It is a bloodline covenant. It's a racial covenant according to lineage. See, these heathens don't like the fact that they're going to have to worship at our feet and cleave to us. I've seen people on this same platform say, oh, I'm only cleaving to Yahuwah. That's not what the book states. It states that they have to cleave to the house of Jacob. We introduce them to the Father. And all the precepts where the Most High states that He's only loved us, He's only dealt with us, and that He's not dealing with the other nations, they just bypass. When I purchased this book, I got it for around $23. I went to check on it today just to see. It's not even available now. And now the book, the last price that I've seen, it was almost $200. This book came out in 2016. So now it's been 10 years. I bought it around 3 years ago. So, so from my date of purchase, it increased 900%. Now that's not inaccurate. I basically rounded off and did the numbers. So We all know that 9 means destruction. Now, this guy has a doctorate, so he's well versed because they like running to these heathens for their rhetoric. So, what we're going to do pretty soon is use the same heathen talking points to prove them incorrect. See, they refuse to humble themselves. Psalms 83. Now, remember when our ancestors, we couldn't even step on a white person's shadow? We couldn't look them in the eyes. We had to cross the street. Remember, our ancestors had to deal with all of that. That was us bowing down to them, being in subjugation. Now, a just wait would be them doing the same to us. I'm not saying that verbatim, but they will bow down to us. And the Most High has made it clear that He has loved us, and He hasn't dealt so with any other nation. So all of these people on here talking that nonsense, oh, you're just like Pharisees. Paul was a Pharisee. Nicodemus was a Pharisee. There were Pharisees who weren't wicked. So once again, through the Spirit, Most High willing, we'll put together some notes and edify the Mishpachah. And for anyone who comes across this video, whether you like it or not, the truth is, if you didn't go through the curses of Deuteronomy 28, you are not an Israelite. Those many nations and many tongues are the diaspora, because we were scattered to the 4 corners. And we have people on here claiming to be us, and it was their ancestors who scattered us, even though it was the Most High's will. So once again, you can put on a head wrap, you can put on fringes, you can cosplay and pose that you are a son or daughter of Zion. That doesn't make it so. The Most High told you heathens, the wicked, not to take His covenants in your mouth, but yet you're still trying to do it. And it's going to lead to a lot of woe, sorrow, and destruction. Just cleave. Just be quiet, listen, learn, humble yourselves, and cleave. You don't get to bypass us. That's not prophecy. And if you can't deal with prophecy and the truth, just deal with your fate. Tread lightly. Tread very lightly. Because once again, trying to go against the Father's will and prophecy, it really never worked out for the enemies of Israel. Yasharahla. Yasharel. All praises to the Most High. Baruch Hashem. Shalom.